Back in September 2020, we sold our house in the UK, then moved to Normandy in France, where we bought an ancient French farmhouse with various outbuildings, including an old barn, a small cottage with 2 woodlands, and 3.5 acres of pastured land in a beautiful national park area. Follow us on our journey as Budo and I renovate the farmhouse, manage our land, and take on many projects for you to enjoy. Let the fun begin.
Hi folks.
Bonjour everyone, hope
Welcome.
you're all well.
Welcome to Caravan Corner.
Again.
Yes, come around a quick again, innit?
Come around a quick
Come
again.
around a quicker, hey? I got a bit of Italiano going on in there, hey? Anyway.
Ciao Bella.
We've been real busy this week.
Yeah.
Obviously you've seen the one of the tractor. There's another one coming up about a bit more of the tractor. But this one is, we're classing it as part 1 of building a box sash window for me. Well, but building all the box sash windows that are going to be, and the discussion we've had about this and where we want to
what style of window
what style we want to get and where we want to be with this.
90% we're going to go for.
There's a lot more thinking process in trying to get the design right and the functionality right, as opposed to actually constructing it. You know, the constructing side is easy for me, but the actual thinking about how we want the finish to look, and I think we've got it now, haven't we?
Yes, we are. We have definitely come to an agreement.
So you'll see that when they're completely finished. But this is a part 1 part, so it's showing you the basics of building a box and so on, and how I go about that.
And I've been putting hardener on the main beam in the bedroom. I think you might have seen that on previous videos and probably on our Instagram post. And also I put hardener on the beam because the beam runs right through into the hall outside the shower room.
Can I just say about the hardener? The hardener, what that does is, because these are oak beams and they've been there for hundreds of years, over the time the sappy soft part of the oak has been eaten away by woodworm and death watch beetle, because we've got both sides of the holes. And what happens is the hardener consolidates all that, makes it hard, and fills all them holes up as well at the same time, and then the wax.
Yeah, and it saves you replacing that wood or trying to make it good. But they've been treated as well. I treated them.
Well, they've been treated 3 times, haven't they?
Yeah, 3 times.
So we've treated them 3 times, the beams. Tracy's put the hardener on the beam, and then she's filled all the holes with the wax, which you'll see as well.
Yep, I've buffed all the beams as well, so they do really look beautiful.
They look
don't
lovely.
they? Look
Lovely.
very
They come
nice.
up, and the smell is just like heavenly.
Lovely.
You know, the smell of bry wax, especially bry wax, which is the nice one. I don't know if you get it in other countries, but in the UK we get it. It's called bry wax, and feathers, and it's got a very pungenty, sweet smell. But it's lovely and it lasts a long time, but it's the best by far for oak and wood. I've used it for many years and I've used other waxes, and this is the one we always go back to, isn't it?
And also definitely leave your windows and doors open, because it can make you very heady, can't it?
It's a bit heady, make you a bit high if you got too much of it,
yeah.
And really that's about it for this week, I suppose, isn't it? Because it was specific what we were doing, and it just windows and the beam, work, and then tractor collecting.
Yep, collecting the tractor.
And it's only half a week, by the way, because you're getting this video early.
You're going to have this video early, yes, so it's all good, isn't it? All good in the hood, as they say.
Yeah, because we want to try and condense these, put these building the boxes in tightly so you can keep your attention and you see what it's going through. Hopefully there's some out there you don't like seeing construction work of timber workers, things like that. You know, hopefully you can just bear with us, but the rest of the people who do enjoy that, I'm sure you will enjoy it anyway.
Well, it's part of the renovation, so whatever you're doing, whether you're making things, painting, waxing, making curtains, which will all be coming up, it's all part of the renovation, isn't it? So that's all the stages you
everything
have to
we're doing
go
is
through.
part of the renovation, and we're trying to do it specifically to share it with you guys, all right, as best we can. So
okay, message
we're
just
going to
come
go
through.
That's it for this week.
Hope you enjoyed the video.
You can go, but be back soon. You can go, but don't be too long. We love you. Yes, we do. Be back soon. In the comments, what was that song from?
And also, don't forget to like, share and subscribe.
Bye.
Au revoir.
Okay, we got Tracy waxing the beam.
Hello.
Hiya.
It smells beautiful. I've just had to shut this window. I've had them all open just in case I fall out.
No, don't fall out.
But
it's not that. It's if you break the pot or the brush gets damaged.
yes, that's the most important. Don't worry about Tracy. I've just got this little bit to do, and this bit as well. I've masked it off so it doesn't go on the lime plaster.
You have to talk a bit louder, Trey, because we might not hear you on that.
Oh, you can't hear? Can you hear me? I'm sure you can.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've just got to do this little bit. It's had the hardener on. It's had the hardener on as well.
Yeah.
So that's dried. One coat of wax. So all this bit down here should be dry. So once I'll give it about half an hour and then I'll buff it all.
Yeah.
And you're going to run a bead, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm going to do a covering bead from the ceiling. So from the ceiling down to there will be an angle bead that covers over that, which would have been there originally anyway. But
on both sides. And what I'll do is I'll wax that and buff that before you actually fit that, because I don't want to run it on the...
Show them the wax we always use.
Bry wax.
Okay, so that's a bry wax.
This is an antique brown, I think, this one.
It smells heavenly.
And how long have we had this? Look,
Oh my God, that tin there is nearly at the end. Let's have a look again, Trey.
Can you see?
And we got that in 2007.
Yeah.
Because that was when we bought that other house in March.
Yeah. And do you remember when you had all the doors dipped?
Yeah.
And I waxed 2 coats of wax on both sides. There was 8-9 doors, and that actually took me 2 weeks.
Let's give them a little picture of the beam.
Yeah. Do you want
So Tracy puts it on, goes on dark like that, and then she'll buff it up a little bit, and it will come out like this. And you get that lovely finish.
Even, isn't it?
It's nice and even. You don't need to burn them or stain them or do anything. Just put that wax on, and that feeds the wood and nourishes it, makes it sort of soak it in, and then eventually she'll do it again in a year's time and over a couple of years, and then it will just be done.
Well, I had to, if you remember, in when we lived in England as well, I used to do the doors, didn't I? Probably every year and a half, didn't I? Used to
anyway,
wax them.
so it'll get a couple of years, we'll have it nourished fully. But the point I'm trying to get to for you guys is who don't know, always with wood use natural oils and natural waxes, and you can't really go wrong. Yeah, a little bit more maintenance, a little bit more work, but it does the wood very good, as they say. Anyway, there you go.
Nourishes it, doesn't it?
And you, so you're on your last bit now?
Yep, just this little, well, no, I've still got to do this bit.
I know that bit, but on the beam. Have you done this side?
Yep.
Yeah, it's all looking good. All even colour, it's lovely. It's come out really well, that beam. I'm really pleased with that. You've done a good job.
And one more thing to tick off the list.
Yeah, another job, tick off. And then you've got the hall to do, haven't you?
Yes, I'm going to get that done.
And then you've got the 2 big beams downstairs in the front room.
Okay, thank you.
And then when I put the ones in the new dining room, which is going to be the 2 big beams, you'll have them to do as well.
Well, we got it's in the hall, a fresh tin of wax, but the ones downstairs I've got to use the far tool, haven't I? Because I've got to get all the varnish off.
Yeah.
So, but I don't think that will take too long.
Right, I'm going to go back and carry on making the box windows.
Chat.
There's going to be a few changes on what we... Yeah. There's a few changes on what we talked about last week, because we've been around investigating some of the windows, but we'll chat about that later.
Well, chat about that later.
All right. Okay, bye.
Right, I'm just going to go down the stairs and pop into the workshop and see how Budo's getting on. I'm just waiting for the wax to go off and then I can buff the beam. Bonjour, Budo. How are you getting on?
Just doing the sills.
Lovely.
Yeah, that's all done now. I've just got to do this back edge. Basically, if you come here, let me do this. Turn this arris off. Oak is very sharp. If you don't take them corners off, you catch your hands when it's quite painful. So look on the side there, Trey.
Yep.
Right. So our box window comes up here, right? But I didn't have 3-inch stock.
Yep.
So I've had to get some 2-inch stock, cut the end off and then stick it back under there, because on the front here there's going to be another little sill about 2 inches long.
Yes.
And a groove in there, and it will sit down and it will be flush onto the surface, so it'll be the same as that there. Yeah?
Yeah.
So what happens is when the water comes down the windows, the sashes, hits this, runs off, hits the other sill and runs and drips over the edge.
Yeah, rather than sit onto the timber.
Yeah, over the edge of the granite sills, because they don't do that here.
No, and that's what causes all
And that's
the...
what's causing the problem to run back, because the sills, this is exaggerated, the granite lintels, this is exaggerated, right? They're tipping inwards towards the house.
Yeah.
So the water hits the window, comes down, runs in and runs back under the sill. So I'm going to stop all that. And then this void in here, I'll just fill that with expanding foam.
Yeah, and no one will see that, will they?
Well, it will tighten it all up,
Yeah.
and then I could just bed this on, this side and this side, onto a bit of cement or something. But,
Let me just show them the
so
grain.
there,
Hang on,
that's all done now.
just want to show them how lovely the grain is.
Oh yeah, it's all oak. Isn't
Yep,
it?
so lovely for all of them done
These
now.
are for the 4 windows now. So now the next phase is, I'm
Yeah.
just going to mark the rods out,
Okay.
make a rod up, and I'll show you that when I've done them. Just a little drawing rod to give me a sequence to work these out, to work with these.
Yeah.
So, you know, you'll get your, let me just try and show you something.
You show so they can see, give them a little idea.
Yeah. Let me put that there as a wedge, right. So you got your pulley style, come on here.
Yep.
Okay. Can you get here at all close? So your pulley style will go on there, and that groove is the parting bead comes in here, and the parting bead sits down onto the sill. If I did it this way round and onto there, the water would go back in to the house, so that is a crucial part.
Yeah.
And as you see a gap on this side, and that's just that to be infilled, so that goes over that surface like that. That's the inside of the box.
Very clever.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then this one, this is the beaded. Let me get that on now. This is the beaded one, which you see on the outside,
Yep.
and that goes.
Let
Yeah.
me come round.
That'll go here, sticking forwards. So that gives you an idea of how it starts to look. Yeah.
Yep.
And then all of this is housed in to this sill. Same with the header. So the next job I'll be doing now is just working out the rods,
Yep.
and then I'll be cutting in the pulley styles up here, Trey.
Yep.
So I'll be setting the pulley styles at their correct setting. So when I balance up the weights, which we've got. Anyway, that's just a little taster as it comes along, right?
And we've been having a chit chat, haven't we?
Yeah.
And a little drive round our local area.
Well, we went round to 2 of our towns.
Yep.
And the window issue. This is how the window visually looks from the outside. And we saw a couple of English windows, and they were like 2 up, 2 down, weren't
Yep.
they? But we looked at the French windows, and not one house was the same. They had all long windows. It's a thing in France where they have this long window.
Yep.
But the glass patterns were all different. Some of them were 10 and 10,
Yeah.
up to, weren't they? Some were
6.
5 and 5.
Yep.
Some were just plain glass. Some were 2 up, 2 down.
Like what we like, the
And I
casement
would
windows.
say probably 30% of them were the same as what we got here.
Yeah.
3. So that opens up some other avenues for us. So we could we might go back to a conventional centre rail,
Yeah.
like the box.
Yeah.
So if I show you quickly. So we might go back to this. Centre rail, 2 up, 2 down.
Yeah, which is what we like.
We're not sure yet. Even though I was talking about 1/3, 2, because there is another issue I was thinking about is when you open this window, okay, this is a small one.
Yeah.
When you open that, you want that fully open so you can actually lean out and grab your shutters to
Yeah.
shut them. And if it's only a small opening, it might be a little bit tight.
Yep.
But we'll look.
We want it to be aesthetic.
It's still a fluid
Yeah.
sort of thing we're looking at.
Yeah.
We're trying
Well,
to
we
get
want
right.
it to be aesthetically pleasing to the eye, but it needs to be functional, doesn't it, at
But
the end
good
of the
thing, and the
day?
exciting thing was we see loads of these, didn't we? 2 up,
Yeah.
2 down. They weren't box sash windows.
No.
They were either casements or French door windows. But there was a lot that were 2 and 2. So that
Yeah.
could be a good
This
thing.
is actually my favourite
Yeah.
style of window.
And that's quite conventional.
Yeah.
I mean, in the UK, if they're bigger and they're higher, they normally have like what we call 6/6.
Yeah.
Or they'll have a 6/2.
Yeah.
So you'll have 2 there and then you'll have 6 above.
Yeah.
That's a very common thing in the UK, especially if you've got arched tops. And some of them I've seen which are the bow fronts, the Georgian, which I've done in Wisby.
Yes.
You get the bow fronts like this, they bow round.
They were beautiful, weren't they?
They
Yeah.
are, what do they call it? 6/6.
6/6,
Yeah.
yeah. You have made a lot of windows. I mean, when we used to go out and about, didn't we? It was like, I made that, I made this.
Yeah.
It's a lovely feeling, isn't it? To know they're
Windows,
still going to be there.
Doors, conservatories,
Staircases,
shop
doors,
fronts.
everything.
Loads. I've done it all in the day back then. But anyway, we're here now, so let's it might turn into this.
Yes.
Okay.
This is probably
in
our
a bigger
favourite.
version, yeah.
Yeah.
Bigger version, obviously.
Yeah, because it'd be nice, I don't know, just to appreciate the whole of the window. That's how I look at it. And when you...
There's a couple of factors we've got to think about as well. It's nice to get it to look 3 above 3, right?
Yeah.
3 and 3.
To be in proportion.
But it needs to be practical, so it needs to open and shut. You need to be able to escape, right? Which there's a fire. And another thing is you need to get as much light in as possible because the windows are narrow but long.
Yeah.
So you want to try and get as much natural light coming through the house. And to do that is to have bigger panes of glass, obviously.
And this is what's drawing us to this design. So
it's
watch
fluid
this
and it's
space. Yes.
So watch this space.
Yes. It could change. We don't know.
Anyway.
Chat to you soon. Thanks, Budo.
Okay then. So, I'm not sure if you guys can see this, but this piece of plasterboard here, because that's all I've got, is my working rod. Okay, this is what I draw it all out on. So if we go down here, I'll show you. This is the sill section here, and this part in the middle is going to be where the parting bead is. This will be where the staff bead is. Then there'll be a sash in here and a sash in here. This is look for a cut section through the side of it. Yeah, and that goes all the way up. It's going to be very hard for you guys to see this. And then that goes to where my head is here. This is called the head. Okay, so this is the head. This point here is the overall width of the this point here is the overall width, the height of the window, and 3 of them are exactly the same height. So I'll use this for 3 of the windows, and 3 are the same width as well. And this little boxed area here is a void, so inside you'd see that part of it coming down. Sash there, parting bead. This is the front side where that nice round mould will be on, but you can't see that in flat 2-dimensional. And then coming over to here, this is my head. So from this line here back to all the way over there is to here is my overall width. Then that shows a profile of this section here, and this is a pulley style coming upwards. This is going up, and then your parting bead goes in there, staff bead outside. This is the outside face. It's hard to explain all that. Hopefully in the future I'll be probably doing like, you know, when people come over here and they can have holidays, and you know, we'll set up a workshop and you can come and learn to make what you want to make in carpentry, really. If you know, if you want to make wagon wheels or windows or whatever, you know, it'd be much easier to show you. But this is all in the future. But anyway, guys, that's a working rod. Yep. It's quite simple, really. But it's hard to see it in this light. Okay then, this is the first sill marked out. Okay, I don't think you're going to see this because the pencil lines are very fine, but this is the pulley style going up that way. Okay, that'll be the pulley style. That's the inside face. This is the inside face. That's the slope away for the rain when it comes onto this sash, which will be sitting here in this space, and then the other sash will be up high, obviously. That's the top sash, and then the water runs down the sash, hits this sill, runs down, and it will hit another sill that I'm going to create after here. But this here now is called a housing joint, which I'm going to be cutting out next. I think I showed you that in one of my videos when I was making up door linings, but it's a very similar joint. Okay, so this is it here at the other end. So it gets cut down to that depth, goes all the way through to this line here. All right, and then I cut this piece out here from here. That goes away. Then that's the face to come on there on the inside. This is the box area inside, and then there'll be the outside face, which will sit on onto that sill and onto the front of this pulley style. I know it sounds a bit technical to some people, but that's the only way I could explain it, really. And this void here is where the weights go, so they'll be hanging in a line up and down in this void here with a little separator in the centre. Hopefully that makes some sort of sense, but it's very, very hard to show joinery because the lining work for penciling is all very fine. This is just me working rods now. Okay, but hopefully you can make some sort of sense of that, guys. Right, I'll show you when I get this bit as a frame together. So I'm cutting out the housing joint now. Bit laborious to watch, but you've got to take your time to get it right. Keep the line. I'm just dropping down to this line here. Right, so that's that done. Now with this chisel, I'm going to hog this out until it's down to this line here, which I'll bring you around and show you. So down to this line. So all that there's coming out flush to that mark there. There. That's going to come out, and this is where my pulley style sits down into. Gives me a nice strong joint here because I can screw it in from this side to hold it in position. I won't show you me banging that out with the chisel because this this camera will be bouncing everywhere. I've got nowhere to put it up at the moment. I've only got a little tiny stand on it. Anyway, okay, as you can see, I've hogged this out now. It's all cleared and flat, and then this is just the residue you get from it, obviously. And then what I do is just to check that base is flat, I put my square in there and just move it along backwards and forwards this way, and make sure that the front edge and the back edge are touching and nothing's obstructing it in the middle. And that's that ready. That's that joint ready. So my next phase now is to cut this bit off and this line down here to get rid of this part here. If I get a pencil, I'll find one. Hello Tracy, you coming here? So all this here will be coming out, okay, and you'll see why after. Hey, that's one more move. I've got to do this side first. I've cut the lines, so I'll just hog that out, and then I'll show you another bit in a minute. Okay then, here we go. So this is my marking out for the for these pulleys to go into. This is the pulley sash with the parting bead, and these are your brass wheels. They're quite heavy, heavy brass wheels. So what I do is when I mark out, a lot of people just put a centre line down there, but I always put the outside lines here so I can get a little shoulder on the end cut. Let me just show you if I can pull one out. So you get this little shoulder here, and that gives more for the wheel to push against when it goes in. So that just fits in there nice and perfect. Yeah, that's nice and flush. So I just house them in, bed them in, and there's the marking out, and that's what it becomes. So I'll just fix these with screws, pre-drill these and push some screws in. It's oak, remember, so you have to pre-drill the holes. There you go, there's the pulley styles. And then I finished off this bit down here on the seal. Okay, so I've cut this out here, and your pulley styles. I'll put one here in 1 second. No, I haven't got one. Right, I just have to use one of these. They sit in here. Okay. So they'll go in there like that. And then they'll go all the way up, obviously, to where the wheels will be. And then that was that little detail I was telling you about. This slot has to be down below the seal. So this line here, the sash comes up to, pushes up to the bead, and then when the water hits the sash, it goes down the seal on the way. There you go. It looks nice, doesn't it? It looks smart. Just take your time, cut them in nice and gently. Don't rush things, you know, take 4 or 5 minutes to cut them in, and also use sharp tools. So Tracy's buffing the beam.
Oh, it's strong.
Now she's put the wax on. Just show them what you're doing, Trey.
Right, I'm just using a normal little
So
scrubbing
you've got to show
brush.
it to the camera.
Can you see it?
Just a scrubbing brush, yeah,
Yeah,
with a hard bristle.
And I'm just going back and forth.
Nice and easy, isn't it?
Basically, yeah.
How simple is that? Effective though, isn't it?
Definitely. Oh, you can smell it. It smells so strong. It
smells
I've
lovely.
Had to shut the window because
Just do a bit under here, Trey, so people can see it underneath.
Watch your face.
That's right.
Because it's
And that is it. That'll do, isn't it?
Yep. It looks quite rich
smells
now,
lovely,
doesn't it?
Yeah, look, that's what it does. It evens the colour out, but you don't need to stain it, you see, if you've got the right waxes. Let's go around here, look. We saw this earlier, but that's finished now and buffed. Look at that, all nice and shiny and waxed.
Go down the other end, it looks nice.
Yeah.
Can you look back?
No, I can see it here, Trace, good. People will be pleased with that. I am, you are.
Yes, another 2 things ticked off the list.
Another 2 things to tick off the list. What about the beam above the window?
Yep, that's been done as well.
Yep.
That already had its hardener on.
Lovely.
God, a few months ago. So that's been done, waxed, buffed. That one up there as well.
Wow, you've been busy.
Yep.
Right, let me just, and this one down the bottom here. And that's been done. But look how lovely and shiny and waxy. It just feels so beautiful and smells gorgeous. It's like something out of a ship.
I put all her masking tape here.
Yeah, hang on, Trey. Just turn it around again.
Yeah,
It's got a slow turn around this.
that is just one continuous beam. It's
Lovely.
beautiful.
Done a lovely job. Well done, Trace.
Merci. Au revoir.
Thumbs up for Tracy. See you later.
Ciao, ciao.
Okay. So, chopped out the holes. I dropped the plates in. Just check they're nice and tight all the way around. If they don't go right down, you can always just give them a light tap with a rubber hammer, which they're in. Then I've got a centering, what we call a centering drill bit, all the way through. Okay, so that's a centering bit, comes in and out like that. Okay, makes life a little bit quicker, easier I should say. Now remember, screws, these are very sharp, these screws actually, so I've got to be a little bit careful. Okay, but these are slotted screws and I like to keep it traditional as I can, so I try to put slotted in where I can, proper brass screws as well to brass plates. And remember what I said in one of my videos about putting it in, dipping it in wax. Just put a little bit of wax on it. Makes it go in easier. All of them I do actually. Yeah. Makes them all go in a bit easier, but it also helps the next carpenter who comes along when he has to take them out or do some maintenance in years and years to come. It's all there set up for him. And then what I'll do is, I won't show you all 4 of these, but I just screw them down. I've got to be careful about holding the screw here because it's very sharp, these screws. So just try and line them up. Give them a bit of a push as you're screwing them in. Okay. And people who know, who's been watching now, will know I'm a little bit anal with things. I like to have the slots all going one way, whether it's going across that way or straight up. Normally a straight up and down is the best way to go. Anyway, I'll do this one up for you, if you could see that. You can see the wax in there, won't harm the brass at all. It's pure natural beeswax, which I got from my bees in England when I was keeping bees there. I just collected it up, and then at the end of it, just put this over the top of these screws here, just brush it off, little polish, and that's good to go. That one there, lovely and flush, finished. Oh. Okay. So there we go, 4 wheels in, all nice and flush, cut in neatly. Take, like I say, take your time if you're going to do this sort of thing. And you know, carpentry is all about taking your time, sharp tools, obviously a bit of knowledge with math and things, but you know, if you're just playing with it, you just take your time and have sharp tools. That's all I can say, and think about things. But I'm just going to show you this now. This is a parting bead, for those who are not sure what a parting bead is, and that goes in that slot there. Okay, so I'll try and get that in there with one hand. There you go. All right, so that's how that go, but that one ain't going in there. This is a painted one out of my stock, and then there's a groove in here which I put a draft excluder in, but I've got this track, so I'll put that into the new oak ones, because I'm making oak ones, because part of this window will show oak inside and outside will show painted. But thought that was a bit interesting. You might be interested in that anyway. There you go. So that's that part. So the next time you're going to see these now is as a box. All right.